Am I the asshole for making fun of my boyfriend's penis?
Oh.
In case you've missed it, I've spent a lot of our Twitch streams reading some of the craziest Am I the Asshole posts on Reddit that I can find. They are so wild that we've decided to post them here on YouTube as well. Every week I'm joined by a different friend. We read through a ton of Am I the Asshole posts, and it's a great time. So to see the full stories, or any stories that we might have cut, make sure to subscribe to our Twitch channel where you can see all of it. It's a grand old time. So, like and subscribe. Also, dummy.
Am I the asshole for catfishing my underage sister on Tinder and humiliating her in order to teach her a lesson?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Last week, I was using my sister Ashley's phone because mine was dead and I needed to call a friend to confirm plans. Dialing my friend's number, I saw a Tinder notification of some dude messaging her. Immediately, I asked why she's on Tinder. She's 17, and she grabbed her phone back and said, "None of your business." I decided that I want to have a little bit of fun with this. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's just swiping for fun. So I didn't want to go straight to ratting to her parents. To test if she was just using for fun, I decided I was going to make a Tinder profile of someone else and message her and see if she responds. I asked a good friend from back in college, who happens to be a male model, Kevin, if he'd mind if I used his pictures and explained the situation. He thought it would be hilarious and told me to go for it. I created the account, set my age to 22, set my swipe radius to a mile, and quickly found my sister's account. Her age was set to 19. Lie, she's still in high school. So I was definitely more suspicious of her now. I super liked, and less than an hour later, she matched and messaged me. I decided to set up a date to a fancy restaurant downtown for a Sunday afternoon and told her we could head to my place afterwards. She was completely receptive and said she'd meet me there. She told our parents she was hanging out with one of her track friends and spending the night at her place. After she left, I told our parents everything and showed them all of the messages. They were pissed and suggested we all go to the restaurant. My dad and I just went instead and saw her sitting at a table alone, all dolled up, waiting for Jim. My dad went up to her and said, "Jim's not coming," and she screamed and asked what we were doing there. I told her that there was no Jim and that it was f***ing stupid of her to be trying to meet grown men on Tinder at her age. My dad harped on to that and lectured her on lying and meeting strange men on the internet and being so willing to go back to a stranger's place. We were a bit loud, so people were starting to look at us, and my sister eventually burst into tears and ran out. I told my friends in a group chat the situation, and they all agreed it was hysterical, except two of my female friends who said I was a f***ing dick and cruel to her. My other friends defended me and said she needed to be taught a lesson. Wondering who's right and if I went too far? Can I go?
Yeah.
I am so sorry, but I don't know if people disagree with me, but the OP is definitely the asshole. She is 17, yes. You needed to stop that situation, but you didn't need to let her to go all the way to the restaurant.
Yeah, dude.
And humiliate her, have her think she's being stood up by a guy potentially, and then show up and embarrass her in front of an entire restaurant of people. Stop her on the way out of the door. She didn't have to go outside.
Yeah, I feel like she could have just told the parents that she has the app and is probably messaging guys. Like, this was a lot.
Am I the asshole for asking my fiance to pay a bride price? Throw away for obvious reasons. I am not asking your opinion on bride prices. Hallelujah. I'm asking if I was wrong for doing what I did. What'd you do? Okay, my fiance, a 32-year-old man, is a white European man. Sorry, I'm awkward. I can't read. I, a 31-year-old female, am a black African woman. Aha! Okay, we've been dating for 7 years. Can't relate. I came to his country to study and have lived and worked here since. Ever since we started dating, he took such an interest in my culture, asked me to teach him my language, culture, and we've been to visit a few times. He asked me to marry him last year, and I accepted. We're planning our wedding. I mentioned we need to account for my family back home. We could have the traditional wedding in my home country and the white wedding. This girl is, if she's African. We would have the traditional wedding in my home country and the white wedding in his, since we don't want to ask anyone to fly and get visas, etc. The issue came when I mentioned a bride price needing to be paid, something he scoffed at. To call it a bride price is misleading because there's so much more to it than money that changes hands. It's our time-honored tradition that blends two families into one. It's always something I wanted to do when I got married. I mentioned he knew of marriage customs in my country and that they include a bride price. We both work in law / human rights types of fields, so he assumed I would be against a bride price. I told him I'm against it being a forced and money-making thing, but I'm asking that he does it because I choose it and I want to honor my parents and culture. He refused, saying it was backwards. Oh my God, saying it was backwards and extortionate, and it would be like he bought me. I assured him that wasn't the case. My parents would charge a tokenistic / symbolic amount, nothing crazy, just to symbolize us getting together. I said if my parents were to sell me, he couldn't afford me.
Oh.
This set him off in a rage because I somehow insulted him by saying that, when what I meant is my parents
he's like, no, I can afford you. Like, he's like, bro.
Ooh. What I meant is my parents aren't looking to make money off me, but this is something my people have done for millennia, and I don't want to break from tradition. I have said I don't know if I'm willing to go ahead with marrying him if he isn't willing to make the trip to my country and to talk to my parents about the Lobola process. He says I'm forcing / manipulating him. I am not. He knew from day one who I was and where I came from. This is what my people do, and I feel for him to label it backwards is Eurocentric because he's viewing it from his lens despite me having explained what it's actually about.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, she laid it out pretty well here. Of
she's
like,
not.
hey, no, like, this is my decision.
Yeah, it's like there's so many traditions, like even like European traditions. There's so many traditions in different religions. Like this is just, even the way she laid it out, like it's just a symbolic tradition that she wants to do and participate in. Like I'm Nigerian, and so like the traditional wedding that would be back in Nigeria versus like the white wedding, or like so you'd have like a white dress, like that's like a standard like American wedding, and then you'd also have a traditional wedding where like everyone is in like African wear and all this stuff. And so there are different like practices and things that happen at an African wedding.
What he's paying is like, you're just paying respect to her culture and traditions and all these things, and
that he's marrying into.
He's refusing to and saying, no, your traditions and culture are wrong.
Yeah, and they're backwards.
Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter to stop using period products in the bathroom she shares with my teenage sons? I have been living with my new wife and stepdaughter for about 6 months now. She's 19, almost 20, and I have 3 sons, 18, 16, and 15. She's a really good kid, and she's a good influence on my sons. I really enjoy having her around. My wife and her daughter moved into my house and sold theirs. My stepdaughter's father isn't present in her life, nor is my son's mother. All 4 children share a bathroom. My sons have never lived for a long period of time with a woman, nor have any of them had long-term girlfriends. They had short visitation periods when they were younger, but never longer than an hour, so living with 2 women has been unusual for them. My eldest son, 18, came to me last week and told me that his stepsister disposes of her used sanitary products in the trash can they share, but doesn't use toilet roll or sandwich bags to disguise what they are, and it makes him uncomfortable, which I think is reasonable. My sons are teenage boys and don't want to see their stepsister's period products on full display. A few nights ago, I went into the kitchen to grab a snack, and she was there doing some work for university. My wife had mentioned that she knew she was on her period, so I took it as an opportunity to have a word with her. I told her my sons were uncomfortable and asked if she'd mind putting her used product in diaper bags or flushing them down the toilet. She laughed and told me it was rich coming from a man who sheds like a gorilla and has produced 3 skid-marking sons, which I thought was just an unnecessary attack. This is a genuine issue to me, and she didn't care enough to have a discussion about it. I asked my stepdaughter again in the morning, and she did the same as her mother, completely dismissed it. Both of them have told me to stop being so silly, but I don't see how I'm being unreasonable when it makes my sons uncomfortable. Am I the asshole? Sorry. You're the asshole, dude.
This one's easy.
Happy the wife stood up for her and wasn't like, we owe something to my husband, so just do what he says. Like, I'm very glad it wasn't one of those.
3 skid marking sons is part of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Great skid marking
sons.
Am I the asshole for telling my ex-fiance he couldn't have his ring back? We broke up 1 year ago. For context, my ex-fiance and I broke up last year because he was insecure over my relationship with my ex at the time. My ex at the time was really close with me because we were literally best friends growing up and a relationship ended on good terms. My ex-fiance got upset because I wanted him invited to our wedding as my male maid of honor of sorts because he was literally my best friend. My ex was bitter because he thought I was holding on to feelings or something, so we broke off our engagement literally a month before we got married. It was a really bitter fight, and in the aftermath, he sarcastically told me that I could keep the ring so my best friend could use it to propose to me. Idiot. Okay.
Wow.
Just for the record, I didn't have the heart to sell the ring. It was a really beautiful piece that we made together. One of our mutual good friends is a jeweler, so her and I designed the ring together. It was a really personal piece with flower engravings and my favorite gemstones, etc. My ex-fiance proposed to me without a ring. We made the ring later. He had an engagement ring similarly made as well. Flash forward to the next few months, and me and my best friend rekindled our relationship. Just to be clear, during my relationship with my ex-fiance, we did not have feelings for each other. It was strictly platonic. But about a week ago, he proposed to me with the ring, saying that he knew I really liked the piece. I accepted, and I posted a picture on Instagram to celebrate. My ex-fiance, I'm trying not to be biased, and I'm failing miserably. My ex-fiance then called me today and basically berated me over the phone about how up it was that I accepted that engagement ring and how bad he looks online. Then he asked for the ring back. I told him to off because it's literally mine and I can do with it what I please, but I'm starting to have second thoughts now concerning everything because I do admit it's kind of weird. Am I the asshole?
Oh, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. Holy shit. That ex-fiance must be like, it's the Leo meme. The like,
so
that sucks so much. So this lady, Smeagol,
so her best friend.
we did not have feelings for it. It was strictly platonic. But he proposed to me, and I said, yeah.
With
Whoa!
with the ring that the other dude bought.
That's a wild of that guy. To be
That
like,
is
oh
bold.
yeah, I'm gonna use that.
Well, I know she really likes this ring, so we already got the ring. Now I just gotta give it to her again.
Am I the asshole for canceling my daughter's therapy because she has bad grades? What? My daughter, 14, had anxiety problems ever since she was little, but it was not severe. 3 months ago, my daughter changed drastically. She stopped eating, talking to us or her friends, and her marks dropped. We were really concerned, and her teachers strongly suggested we take her to therapy, which we did, and she was diagnosed with severe depression and social anxiety, which was expected. The therapy sessions looked like they helped her well, and in the first month, she already began making progress and started talking to us and her friends again, and is eating whatever her mother is cooking. We were really happy to see this, and every day she would get better and better. The thing is, her marks did not. They are terrible, and she ended up barely passing the year. This is what infuriated me and made me cancel her therapy sessions. I know to some it might sound terrible, but paying $120 per session and seeing no progress in her marks makes me feel like I am seriously wasting my money. Now that she returned back to normal. Not only since she really enjoys going to therapy, I think telling her that she needs to get higher marks to continue her therapy sessions will motivate her to study harder and thus score better marks. My wife disagrees with my logic, and we had a massive argument because of it, which ended up with her saying that she's going to pay from her money, which hurt me since I see my and her money as ours. My daughter is also really upset on me and was begging me to keep her therapy sessions, but I think I am going to stick to this plan. Am I the asshole here?
Her grades haven't gone up, but she's all like not depressed and eating food. Lame. It fixed the things that I didn't need to be fixed.
You know what I value over my daughter's life? $120.
Bro. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's mother she raised a fucking sociopath who needs to be in a facility? So I, female, 26, have a boyfriend who's 24, And recently he got into a dispute with the neighbor's kids. They accidentally kicked their football into our yard and they came into the garden to get it back.
The Sandlot? What is it?
Yeah, our giant dog, who's actually very sweet. To be honest, I didn't care, but my boyfriend started screaming at these little, 11-year-olds about how they are poorly raised and their parents should be ashamed. I was fucking mortified. I sent the kids some chocolates and sweets and apologized profusely for his behavior. I was seeing red flags and told him this behavior was not normal. He kind of brushed me off, and I told him if he pulled anything like that again, he was gone. The next week, the ball came into our garden, and I was about to throw it back to the kids when my boyfriend stormed outside and took the ball inside. I told the kids I would bring it back in a minute. He went into the bathroom and emerged like 10 minutes later wearing gloves and a football covered in shit. His own shit. What the f***? I asked him if he was out of his f***ing mind, but he stormed past me and threw it over the fence screaming, "Take that, you bitches." I screamed and screamed at him about how he was a f***ing douche and I wanted him out of my house. And he is a disgusting f***ing monster and that they were just kids. I screamed and eventually he left. I deleted all his games off his PS4 and gave it to the kids as an apology. Badass move. I was so embarrassed. My ex-boyfriend's mom messaged me asking what happened, and I responded with, "What happened?
Oh.
What happened?
Oh.
You are a pathetic excuse of a woman who raised a fucking sociopath who covered a football in his own shit and threw it at some kids, and he needs to be in a facility because something is wrong with him. And God knows how I hadn't seen any red flags about the fucking monster you raised during the 7 months we dated. I know I'm in the right for what I did to my boyfriend, but am I in the wrong for snapping at the mother for something she had no direct involvement in? I don't know, man. He did on a football and throw it at kids.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Those kids.
I gotta be honest, this almost goes beyond asshole to like, she's right. I'm like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
He threw it at 11-year-olds.
I want to know, you know what I want to know? I want to know how long before the mom messaged her. Like, was it the same day? Because I want to know how.
Because they didn't show what the mom said back or what, like.
Yeah, I want to know
happened.
how she came at her. Like, was it the same? Like,
Yeah.
was it the same day? Was it like a week later? Because calling the mom a pathetic excuse of a woman, like just like straight off the bat, is a little aggressive. I'll say.
I got to compare this to football right now. For anyone who's watching NFL, the Poopball for me, they're very much. They're looking like the Kansas City Chiefs. They're coming into this hot. They're looking good.
Damn.
But we'll see if someone else surprises them.
Gosh, he on a ball and threw it back to the kids.
Trevor, you got to stick around for this one.
Okay.
All right.
I've heard tell of this one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for serving my daughter wet-ass pizza? 43 female here. My 16-year-old daughter had some friends over in our backyard for a get-together yesterday. I asked them if they wanted food, and they said sure, but honestly didn't seem like they were even having fun. I pride myself in being a fun mom. Maybe not a cool mom, but fun. So I ordered pizza for them. To make them laugh, I played the song Wet Ass from my phone, and I sang along holding the pizza singing Wet Ass Pizza. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious. Then I put the pizza down and began booty shaking a little. No boys were there, just 3 girls. My daughter shrieked as if she'd been stabbed and said this was humiliating, and I said, "Sounds like dry pizza energy." As a joke. And her friends snickered a bit, so I know the joke landed. Well, it's been a day, and she won't leave her room or speak to me. Am I really in the wrong?
No, you're a hero.
You're a genius. You're a genius.
Dry pizza energy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
MVP.
This is totally something that, like, if I was 16 and my parents did something like this, I know I'd be mortified.
Oh, yeah.
But it's something that you're gonna look back on in 6 years,
Oh
and
my
it's gonna be so funny.
Bro, I can already call it. When this daughter is like 25, she and her mom are gonna talk every day.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
100%.
that type of. I think the daughter for the next couple of years is gonna be kind of like, "Mom, get away."
Yeah.
Oh
But
my God.
this is. I mean, come on. This is like, how many stories have we read on these Am I the Asshole posts where the kids in those stories would give everything to have a mom like this?
Yeah.
Like this is a
100%.
hero.
Am I the asshole for making fun of my boyfriend's penis?
Oh.
Up front, my boyfriend has an awesome penis. It's not huge or see, look at it. It's not huge or anything.
Super tiny.
But about 7 inches we measured, and fairly girthy, but it... Okay, I'm gonna read this. Okay, at least...
You got this.
Up front, my boyfriend has an awesome penis. It's not huge or anything, about 7 inches we measured, and fairly girthy, but it is really, really even comically small when it's flaccid, like 2 inches. In the privacy of our relationship, I playfully make fun of it all the time, and he doesn't mind because he knows that it pleases me in bed. Okay. However, he has complained in the past about how much he hates locker room moments when other dudes see it and assume he is hung like a grape even though he's not. Oh, wow, okay. So the other night, we were having dinner with friends and played a game where we pull word cues out of a hat. One of the cues was something like things that are short, and I write down my boyfriend's penis. They were all read aloud, and when it's revealed that I wrote that particular answer, the room explodes in laughter. My boyfriend tries to brush it off. Oh, you got me, ha ha, and laughs with everyone else. Then one of my boyfriend's male friends, who he goes to the gym with, slaps him on the back and tells him, oh, we've all seen it. We still love you, bro. More laughter. After we get back to his place, my boyfriend tells me that it bothers him that his friends think of him as the small guy because all they had seen is his flaccid penis in the locker room. He said that they've made fun of him in the past and he has had to brush it off for years because he feels that denying it would make an even bigger deal out of it than it is and has to silently take it. He said that by making that joke, all I have done is reinforce the perception and that it will just fuel the teasing. He wasn't mad, just disappointed. Ooh. He said that he would never make fun of me if I had something unappealing about my body because he would never want to give me a negative impression about myself, that he would tell me I was beautiful no matter what. I felt really, really bad when he said that. I have apologized and things are fine now, but I think that maybe he is blowing this out of proportion. Am I the asshole or should he maybe not take this so seriously?
I mean, the solution is for him to just, get an erection in the locker room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They're making fun of him. He's like, oh, yeah?
This next one's called Winkie Fell Off.
Am
I the asshole for telling my toddler brother that my Winkie penis fell off? This story takes place 7 years ago when I was 13 and my brother was 3. As of today, he has enough of a working understanding of female biology to know that I was full of shit. I was using the restroom when I was on my period. My toddler brother walked in on me, got a clear sight of the blood, and asked what happened in a scared voice. I said, I'm bleeding because I was a bad boy when I was little and my Winkie fell off. You better be a good boy or the same will happen to you. He runs out of the living room crying to my mom, saying that he's sorry for misbehaving and that he'll be a good boy from now on. My mom thought I was an asshole, but she's also got a great laugh before setting my brother straight.
Oh my God.
Holy crap, that's incredible. We have our second legend of the day.
Oh man. That is so fun.
That's what a quick wit.
Yeah, at 13.
My Winkie fell off. Oh, this is a bad boy. Am I the asshole for complaining that my wife cries when we have arguments? What the man? Holy shit. You're having an argument about it, she's crying. We don't usually have arguments, but when we do, it gets intense. I don't ever shout at her. My parents always did that to me, and I would never do it. The thing is, she always cries and says I'm being too harsh. I honestly don't think I am. I feel like crying in a fight is an unhealthy way to make your point. You can't just cry for everything just to get your way. When I told her this, she burst into tears and began saying that I don't care about her emotions. So am I the asshole? Yeah, man. Yeah, you are.
Oh, I cry when I'm angry. So you get those angry.
That's so not fair. What? Hey, we're fighting right. Hey, stop crying!
Oh, you're gonna manipulate me with your
You're
tears?
Cry?
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna cry?
Oh,
you're
wow.
Cry? I'll be right back. I'm gonna take this football. I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah, there's on it. And then you know what? I'm gonna use it to wipe those tears off your fucking face. You manipulative ass bitch.
Yeah,
that's what
this is your fault. Stop being an asshole and crying, little baby.
Oh, you want me to feel bad for you?
Am I the asshole for grounding my daughter because she called my sister-in-law a slut?
Wow.
My 14-year-old daughter posted a picture of a family get-together on social media. A boy from school recognized her aunt from an adult film and messaged my daughter about it. I believe he sent a video to her as well. Before this, she had no idea her aunt was in the industry. It appears that boy spread this around the school and that my daughter is being teased for it. I notified the school and they are looking into it and will plan to educate the students about sexism online. My husband and I are respectful and non-judgmental of my sister-in-law's profession, and I have tried to teach these values to our children. My daughter is understandably upset and I feel for her, but she is directing all of her anger and blame towards her aunt. She unfriended my sister-in-law from social media and removed all traces of her from her profiles. She refuses to join us for weekly dinners at my sister-in-law's house, and when they come over, she ignores them and just sits in her room playing Minecraft. I tried talking to her about tolerance, shame, and sexism, but she is dismissive of all of it. My sister-in-law is hurt from all this. Not only did she have her privacy invaded, but she lost a good relationship with her niece. Last weekend, I went upstairs to my daughter's room to try and talk to her and get her to join us downstairs. My sister refused and referred to my sister-in-law as a vapid slut, and her husband a pathetic cuck, along with other slurs I don't want to repeat. I grounded her for 3 months and took away her internet. My husband definitely thinks that she should be punished for using that language, but that's too much. He's also admitted he struggled accepting his sister's career path at first. He thinks she just needs space and will come around eventually because her aunt is family.
That's a really tough situation. I think clearly the daughter is really struggling with, like, she probably got teased a lot at school and she's just really upset.
And these things that she's saying to her mom, they are definitely things that were being shouted at her. And now she's like saying them because
definitely.
Like 100%.
She got,
And also, like, you know, thinking about that this video was possibly sent to her, maybe that made her, like, you know, when you're really young and you're exposed to things that maybe you're not ready to see, that can really, like, affect a young person.
It's also probably was not fun. She probably got shown so much by other students and stuff. Like, seeing your family member like that is when you're not aware and it's just like this big reveal. It's probably just a lot she's processing.
That age is the worst.
But I think, look, I think the punishment is 3 months is a long time. But I respect the mom's defending of her sister-in-law and really trying to be like, hey, no, this is her job, this is her profession, and you're being disrespectful, and like, those people at school are being assholes, but you can't take it out on the aunt. I don't think anyone is the asshole necessarily in this situation.
Am I the asshole for not apologizing to my wife? I, a 30-year-old man, got home from work an hour earlier than usual today. My workplace is only 15 minutes away, and I don't normally know when I will be done for every given day, so it's normal that when I finish for the day, I send a text to my wife, 26-year-old female, letting her know that I will be home soon. Today was no exception, and I sent the text and didn't receive a reply, which is not strange since our 10-month-old baby requires a lot of attention. We have a rule at our home that when coming home, we are supposed to enter silently, so as to not wake the baby if she's sleeping. Today, I forgot this rule and entered the apartment proclaiming my arrival with a loud hello. Turns out our daughter had just fallen asleep 1 minute ago, along with my wife, and my loud greeting woke them up. I apologized shortly and took the baby so my wife could go back to sleep, which she promptly did. Later this evening, I cooked a homemade meal and we sat down to eat, and my wife explained that she hadn't slept since 3 a.m. this morning and was quite annoyed with me because I had woken her up. She further demanded an apology, and I said I did apologize, but that it was an accident and I forgot the rule and I would not be apologizing again. So Reddit, am I the asshole for apologizing? Am I the asshole for not apologizing a second time?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Both of them are weird.
I feel like...
Hey, apologize again. Hey, that
Just-
thing you did earlier? I want to hear it again. And then him to be like, no. No, I won't.
You think, you're gonna cry about it? You think you can get another apology out of me?
What, are you gonna cry?
After I made a homemade meal?
You're gonna cry? I made a homemade hungry man dinner.
Wow, you tired?
I made a homemade hungry man dinner. Wait, can you ask for another apology? Like, can we
Okay.
This is their dinner that night.
Hey,
How do you like the homemade dinner I made?
great. Glad you cooked today.
Yeah, I worked on it really hard.
I feel like I just really need you to know that you woke me up, and I haven't slept since 3 a.m. and I need you to apologize again because it just wasn't good enough the first time.
I will not. It's so funny.
It's so weird.
No, I'm not gonna apologize again.
Well, that was Am I the Asshole? There are more videos for you to watch right here and right here. Also, drop a comment down below saying which asshole you think was the worst one. It's tough to pick sometimes because it's like different vibes of assholes, you know? But let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm curious. You jerk.